Why you're not fully awake yet and how to finally break through. Why most people get stuck on the path to awakening. How to make the real shift to living as the creator. Why you are still not awake and how to finally wake up as the creator you are. I walk this path myself. I know exactly where people get stuck and how to get through. I share the real steps and safe practices for awakening in my free Telegram channel. Link is below the video. Let's talk about the point of real awakening, the exact moment your divine self takes over. Most people never get there. Here is why. Let me show you what the awakening journey really looks like. It starts here. The person is asleep, living in autopilot. You follow the rules, chase goals, try to fit into the system, but something always feels off. Life doesn't flow, things fall apart, your health, relationships, and dreams keep slipping through your fingers. And you start to wonder, why? Where is the joy? Is this really all there is? That's when you begin searching, waking up. You find books, videos, teachers, courses. You discover that there is more than logic and effort. There is energy, work, visualizations, affirmations, meditations, vision boards, astrology, even psychic powers. And yes, life may start to improve. You begin manifesting things. Some desires even come true. Conflicts lessen. You think, wow, I've found the secret. But then a strange emptiness. You realize something is still missing. You are not fully free. You are not truly awake. This is where most people get stuck. For years, even for decades. They believe they have awakened, but they are still caught in the matrix spiritual traps. That's the biggest mistake on the path, getting stuck in illusions of awakening, in visualizations, in manifestations, even psychic powers. Here is the truth. We as divine beings made this game difficult on purpose. We choose to forget who we are, to limit our infinite potential, squeeze ourselves into human form, and play a game called life without remembering that we are actually God. And the game is to remember, to fully awaken. But if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth playing, right? So there are many, many traps. One of the most dangerous traps, believing you've awakened when you are still deeply asleep. Stuck for years with vision boards and manifestations. Thinking just one more manifestation will fix everything. But in reality, you are drifting further from the present moment. Because real creation happens here and now, not in some imagined future. The Matrix is clever. It feeds you half-truths. Even the most popular spiritual mentors often teach ego-based manifestation. They might not even realize they are still stuck to. So people stay trapped, bouncing between the highs of almost awakening and the lows of doubt, burnout, and spiritual exhaustion. So how does the real shift happen? It all comes down to this. You carry a set of ego-based limitations, beliefs, patterns, subconscious programs that shape how you see the world. And as long as they are running the show, you are still asleep. I won't go into ego-based limitations in this video. I explain them in detail in another video. I show exactly why most people view life through a tiny keyhole and miss the bigger picture. If you are curious, the link is below the video. But eventually, you feel something is missing on your path and something begins to shift. Let's look at the next illustration to see exactly how we reach that turning point where the ego begins to fade and the creator starts to lead. We'll see this shift from ego to creator in percentages to give you a clear picture. This percentage is just symbolic, it's not exact. But the important part is the 50-50 mark. 50 ego, 50 creator. It's where the real transition point is, it's where the real transition happens from ego to creator. Let's go from the beginning. You start with 95 ego and 5% creator. Then you start to wake up slowly and you reach 70% ego and 30% creator, for example. And finally, you reach 51% ego, 49% creator. And suddenly, this real transition point happens where you are 50% ego and 50% creator, and you need to pass to 49% ego and 51% creator. So the turning point will be over. But from this point, your divine self slowly starts to take the lead. You begin to create not from fear, control, or desire, but from presence, love, and alignment. And you finally reach 5 ego, for example, and 95% creator. But to reach there, you need to pass this transition point. And this shift is not gentle. It's a sacred breaking point, a threshold initiation. And when you cross it, a deep purification often begins. Emotional roller coaster. Bliss one day, despair the next. Dark night of the soul. Deep inner collapse and identity loss. Ego death. Your old roles and attachments start to dissolve. Total life reset. Relationships, careers, even your reality may fall apart. These aren't signs something is wrong. They are signs something real is finally happening. The false is burning away. So the true you, the real you as God can rise. But this point is very important, and in this transition point, people can get stuck for many, many years, and this is a very unpleasant experience. But we have the way to not get stuck if you follow this path and know about the present moment practices. These practices will help you to make this turning point really smooth. And You will pass it faster and easier than most of the people which get stuck there for years and even for decades. So before full integration, you will probably find yourself in this chaotic in-between phase, transition point. One day you feel blissful and aligned. The next, you are drowning in fear, doubt, and sadness. This emotional roller coaster isn't failure. It's part of the process. It's what happens when the ego dies. Old patterns collapse, and your divine self begins to take over. Without proper guidance, you could stay in that swing for years. Many people do, unfortunately. I've been there. I know how heavy, confusing, and hopeless it can feel. But here's the good news. There is a way through, and it doesn't have to take decades, even years. What to do next? I found clear steps that work. I've helped others cross the bridge from ego to creator. And it starts with one thing: present moment practices. Not guided meditations, no music, simple, silent, direct exercises that connect you with your true self, with your body, with the moment now and here. Then working through the layers of belief and programming. It might take you a few months, maybe 3, maybe 4, 5, or 6, but it will not take decades. It will not take years. And these practices are safe, simple, and incredibly powerful. Even kids can do them. Present moment practices are the true key. Psychologists use them too because they balance the brain, increase focus, awareness, emotional stability, and even unlock genius. But most people don't realize with conscious awareness, these same practices lead to spiritual awakening. Buddha knew these techniques go all the way back to ancient Buddhist path, and they still work. Ready to fully awaken, leave the swing, step into your creator self today. Join my free Telegram channel, get the free practices you can start with to activate the creator. Link below. I'm waiting you on my channel.